Call on private and local orders of the day, number 2.
Christchurch City Council Rates Validation Bill, third reading.
I call the Minister, Nikki Wagner.
Mr Speaker, I move that the Christchurch City Council Rates Validation Bill be read a third time. I'm delighted to be here today to present this Christchurch City Council Rates Validation Bill at its third reading. There's been quite a lot of controversy around this bill, but basically it's very simple, it's very straightforward, it's very short, and it's very focused. What this bill does is set out to validate rates irregularities that came to light to the Christchurch City Council just last year. So let's give you a little bit of context. Each June, the Christchurch City Council, and in actual fact councils across the country, resolve to set their rates for the next financial year. And since 2004, the wording for that rates resolution has been the same or similar. But in 2013, the Department of Internal Affairs informed the Christchurch City Council that the resolution did not meet the requirements of the Local Government Rating Act of 2002. So let me get that straight. For 9 years they'd been using the same resolution, and for 9 years, unbeknownst to everybody, that rates resolution had been faulty. And the problem all began back in 2004 when the Council deliberately set out to simplify and to use everyday language in setting their rates resolution. But inadvertently, they left out important bits of information, important requirements, which meant that that resolution was invalid. Under Section 24 of the Local Government Rating Act, it requires that a rating resolution must include the date on which the rate must be paid, and if that rate is to be paid in instalments, the amount and the date of each instalment. Also under Section 27, although which authorises additional penalties, but it must also require when the rates must be paid, the due date, and also the resolution must state how the penalties are calculated and the date on which those penalties must be paid. In this case, the Christchurch City Council's resolution did none of that. But let me make it clear, all the required information was available. It was all available in the Council's rating policy, in the funding impact statement. It was discussed at the Council table. It was aired in the local newspapers. It just wasn't in the resolution. So the attempt to simplify basically had backfired. And although nobody had noticed, and it had gone on for 9 years, finally in 2013 it had to be repaired. And I must give credit to the temporary CEO of the Christchurch City Council, Jane Parfitt, at that time, because immediately they were able to correct the 2013-14 rates resolution, and then they went back to review all their other past resolutions. And what they found, they managed to identify a number of other technical irregularities. They found errors in the setting of 7 targeted rates and also in the setting of the uniform annual general charge. It was the same problem. Although the background information was readily available, it wasn't in that resolution. So all those resolutions were irregular. As I've said, they were able to fix those resolutions going forward, but there was no ability for them to fix the resolutions going back, hence this bill. Now, I'd like to thank the Local Government and Environment Select Committee again, who thoroughly canvassed the background to this, who worked their way through their process, and I particularly like to thank the leadership of Scott Simpson as the chair. And the debate has gone on because nobody in Parliament ever likes to pass retrospective legislation. We've done it several times in the last few years, and it's unfortunate that this bill has had to come to the House. Fortunately, this bill is very much about technical errors. Nobody's lost anything. There's been no fraud, no suspicious behaviour. Just the problem with the simplification of the language that the council thought that they were doing a good thing that has backfired. So, Mr. Speaker, I commend this bill to the House.